Welcome to a new video. Today's video is a follow-up to my 800 watts of solar install. I'm going to try to make this real time. So we are sitting on May 2nd, about noon, a little before noon. The sky is mostly open. We do have some scattered clouds. So I have 800 watts of solar. They're 24 volt panels. And let me jump to a screenshot of how my solar is physically performing. All right, here's a snapshot of my solar charge controller. So if you see on the very top, that's my Victron shunt. And it's showing about 41.63 amps going in. Now that is, I do have some parasitic loads, but the middle solar charge controller, that is my charge controller on the front two panels. And the bottom one is the back two panels. So you can see the front ones are about 322 watts coming in, and the back one is about 303 watts right now. So this is really a good example, or you can use a comparison of your solar panels. I have 800 watts. We're a little over 75% of the rated output. And this is not exactly at the highest sunset. You can see on the top left-hand corner, it's about 11:54 a.m. So I think the ideal sun time is around 12:30, 1 o'clock, somewhere around there. And also my panels are not angled towards the sun. So let me jump out of here and let's take a look at the solar wiring. All right, now that I've shown you the actual performance of the solar panels, like I mentioned, this is May 2nd, so this is not the ideal conditions. Now, very important, before I started the testing, my solar panels are clean. Let's jump in the back here. So I did utilize all the factory wiring. So these components here, these are 24 volt panels. They're in parallel, and it's utilizing the factory parallel components as well as the factory wiring. So we'll go down below. Now, I'm using the factory wiring. It's not the ideal setup. So really this video is to show you what the real world performance is. So if your 800 watts or higher is not performing this well, you might want to check your components, and there's probably some improvement that you need to do. In my case, the problem I had was those flat mounted solar panels that I have stacked there, which will go in the garbage here shortly. They were just not installed in the best method. I think it's a well-known fact that those flexible panels are not as good as these rigid panels. The other thing is these two panels and that panel over there. So this is facing north. They're actually angled towards the north side. So my RV is not actually positioned well because the south direction is this way. So that panel in the front there, that is angled a little bit better towards the sun, but those three panels do not face the sun in the most optimal way, but just something to factor in. So let's jump on down to my electrical bay and take a look at that. And here's my electrical bay. Now, I'm not proud of this wiring here. This is not what I did. This is what I inherited from Dynamax. So just like all the other RV manufacturers, they need some serious improvement on their wiring. But let's look over here. So there are two charge controllers. They're independent. One of the charge controllers go to the two panels in the front, and one of the charge controllers go to the two panels in the back. Now, the one modification I made was that, unfortunately, Dynamax, for whatever reason, did not have any fusing going from the solar wires to the right before the charge controller. So if you look right here, I did put a circuit breaker disconnect, so I can actually disconnect one of my solar panels. This is my other bank right here, going right here. This one I do need to actually splice in and put a circuit breaker in. Again, I don't know why Dynamax didn't do it. They did have some inline fuses for the panels on the roof, but they didn't have any down here, which doesn't make any sense. So if an electrical engineer actually signed off on this wiring, I think they need some serious talking to. The other thing I noticed is once they go from my solar charge controller, it goes to one of these resettable circuit breakers, and then to a disconnect, and it jumps and it jumps and it goes. It actually ties into here. This is where my inverter is. And this cable here is the one that goes all the way back to my battery bank. And that's quite a bit of a run. That's probably at least 20-25 feet back. So this mounting style is actually not the ideal situation. These charge controllers should be much closer to the battery bank instead of so far away. And there's quite a bit of voltage loss going from the charge controller through these wires and all the 25 feet back. So based on all this wiring that we have here, we do know there's room for improvement. Now you have a snapshot of a real world performance on an 800 watt system at about noon on May 2nd. So you can do a comparison of your own system. My previous 950 watts I had before never came close to the performance that I just showed you on my Victron monitor. And I did forget to show on my monitor, I have seen it spike up like these two panels here. Those are equal to 400 watts. I've seen them spike up over 400 watts, and same as those. And it all depends on the sun position and the ideal situation. But this video was just to show you a quick comparison, and maybe you can look at your system and you might need some tweaking to do. See you on the next video.